Hello and welcome to Community Connections here at SCAN. Your host, Tom Hayes, Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas, and really happy to have you with us here today. I'm also very happy to have a wonderful, wonderful guest who I've known for about a year since he's come to town, and that's Major Stanley Newton of the Asbury Park Salvation Army. So Major, welcome and thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great. Now, I know you're fairly new to the neighborhood, but I know you've been doing a great job. You and your wife Norma have been just doing an amazing job in Asbury Park and the surrounding area with all the work that you do through the Salvation Army. So tell us a little bit about Salvation Army. First of all, where is your main location?
The Core Center is located at 605 Asbury Avenue, Asbury Park, New Jersey. And we have other locations in the county, such as the Red Bank location.
Right.
But our where we're stationed is in Asbury Park,
which is a great facility. I know I've been on your advisory board longer than you have, you know, because you've come to town recently, but for many years, and it's a great facility that we were able to put up several years ago. But tell us a little bit about the whole facility.
The facility is probably the biggest facility that I've ever been assigned to oversee. We have 2 floors. We have on the main floor our chapel, a large gymnasium, a multi-purpose room, offices, and then on our second floor.
And a great kitchen.
And a great kitchen, I forgot that. A great kitchen, probably the largest kitchen I've ever seen in all the Salvation Army buildings. And then also on our second floor, we have about 11 classrooms that can be utilized for different programs and activities throughout the year. So we're very fortunate to have a really nice large building, and if you go outside we have I think about 40 parking spots, so we even have the ability to when folks come for assistance, you know, places to be able to have them park in that. It's not one of those cases where you come to the building but you have nowhere to put your car or while you're trying to secure service or help.
Right, so. Which is great, and it's easy access, and you know, the double doors. You also have an elevator in the building, which is nice to have.
First building I've had with an elevator in it. So
all these great things.
I have all these firsts here in Asbury Park.
You've come to heaven to Asbury Park.
Yes, I did. I've told my superiors they can leave me here until retirement. So
well, and we second that vote. You and Norma are wonderful people, as all your predecessors have been. But we always say it's great to have. If we can have you for several years, it's wonderful because it takes a while to get to know the community and for the community to get to know you. So the longer you can stay, the more you can build those relationships and network, and you know. And
I totally agree.
And you know, we're always trying to get you out and about and making sure you're meeting new people and all that, which is great. You're very open to that, which is I think very important with any nonprofit, but especially for the Salvation Army. It's good for you to know who your community members are, and you know, and it's really important for them to get to know you, so that they know what they can do to help you. Which I think is great. So tell us about some of the programs and services that you offer at the Salvation Army.
Salvation Army has some different diverse programs. We have a social services office. We have a gentleman who's been doing the job for 12 years, Lionel Contreras, so he's bilingual. Probably the nicest person you'll ever want to meet.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes in is very important to him. He takes every opportunity to see what he can do to make sure that they're being provided the services and programs that they either need or need to be in. And so I can't ask for a better social services director or person.
And before you leave that topic, I just want to apologize on air for myself and probably everyone else that Lionel meets, that we all want to call him Lionel, because we all grew up with Lionel trains or whatever it is, so it's Lionel, right? And we all say Lionel at first.
And I don't think he cares.
I know, he'll answer to everything, but I respectfully I want him to know on air that we appreciate
some people
that.
Call him Leo. So
all right, that's okay too. But
he does the social services. Primarily, it's a food pantry program. We also are doing New Jersey Shares again.
Great.
We are looking into new partners and other possibilities. We have Senator Gopal and Assemblyman Hotelling, who have recently joined our advisory board, and there's been discussion about having them come in and do a mobile office at our location too. So we're looking for any kind of partnerships that we can find to expand the social services that we're doing at our location. And then Also, we do holiday assistance. Many people probably were familiar with that. New Jersey Natural Gas is a lot of help with that. They provide volunteers and toys, and we're just very blessed with their support, as well as the community at large. We have a lot of people who provide assistance and service and support for that. And what we do there is we give out food and toy baskets and clothing during the holiday season, coats, whatever we can try to provide to make everybody have a wonderful, warm Christmas.
I have to say our volunteers love that program. I mean, every year we come out and, in droves to really help out, and it's just a really nice program that you do, and well run and well organized, and we know it's going to the right families, so that's great work you do.
And we have great volunteers, not only the folks from the New Jersey Natural Gas and from the community at large, but even our own internal volunteers are down there taking applications throughout the month of October to make sure that we're identifying the right people to receive assistance and helping them find resources. And many of them sometimes are struggling with not being able to pay for their normal stuff, such as their rent or the children's school, and also try to provide a Christmas for the children. So we hope that what we do makes a big difference in helping them to be able to not have to stress for what are they going to do for their children at Christmas time.
Right.
So.
That's great.
We also have after-school programs. We partner with the Coastal Activity Center. They do a 3-day-week program at our building. We also do some programs such as musical instruction. We do sacred dance. We are teaching several young people how to play in a beginner's band. We have what they call a singing company. So it's a small group of kids who are part of a songster group, a singing group. The Salvation Army this past Saturday had what they call Star Search at our building, and it's an internal Salvation Army, like Ed McMahon used to host, and
kind of the predecessor to like American Idol and all those things, right?
And our children, who I believe my understanding is hadn't really performed or really sang in the last 3 to 4 years. We were informed afterwards that we came within just a few points of finishing 3rd overall. So we've been very blessed with the leadership for that. That's teaching the kids how to play musical instruments. We also provide some scouting-like programs called Adventure Corps, Sunbeam, and Girl Guards. We have the Emergency Disaster Program. Donnie Von Koppen and Debbie Von Koppen, 2 of our church members as well as volunteers, run our emergency canteen when there's a fire, a flood, and are very committed to that. And they basically do the whole program. They have recruited volunteers. I know they're always looking for more volunteers, so if anybody's ever interested, they would be glad to take on additional volunteers, but it is a program that's needed because, as we know from Hurricane Sandy, we're not exempt from potential disasters coming our way. So
and you even show up at like local fires and things like that on a regular basis to help out wherever needed, right?
Yeah. Anything that is considered a disaster, we will try to be there to provide support to the families, but also to the first responders. Over the years, the Red Cross has kind of been focusing more on the victims initially, and then we try to make sure we're taking care of the first responders and providing secondary support to the Red Cross.
That's nice. That's important. That's a good partnership.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really great.
I got a few more things, and then I'll. But we have we have a camp program in Pittston, New Jersey, called Camp Tecumseh, and during the summer season, we send a certain number of kids to that program. They get to go there for about 5 to 7 days, and just to enjoy the outdoors, and just have an opportunity to be away and have a special experience, especially if they don't get to do family vacations. Sometimes this may be their own vacation.
Right.
We have an adult fellowship at our location for seniors, and we're trying to develop some of our older adult programs. But they meet on Thursdays. They will have some outings, like they've gone to the culinary school, they've gone to the orchards, they've gone to several different places, and then they also have some programs internally. We had somebody came in and did a magic show. We had somebody that came in and did a ventriloquist show. The other things that we do are we visit the nursing homes once a month. We take them small little gifts and a magazine from the Salvation Army, and we distribute that. I think it's about 5 or 6 local nursing homes.
That's great.
Our volunteers are very committed to that. We have a very good program there. I think that's especially important because about 18 years ago, I was out of the Salvation Army ministry for a short while, and I was the marketing and missions director at a nursing home in the town where I was at.
Okay.
And it came to the realization that there were a lot of folks in the nursing home, because of maybe no longer having any family alive,
right,
or family living so far away, that it could be that us going through and providing that service, we might be the only visitor they get the whole year.
Yeah.
So that's a very important program that I think we do. Again, we can always use volunteers in all these different ways to try to provide that program.
And I have to say, I think that's really important because we have our seniors and folks that have probably given so much to our communities and to our societies, and they get into those later years and aren't as able, and they may be in a nursing home and that sort of thing, and it's a shame if they're sort of forgotten. So it's nice that we can all make an effort to really get out there and make sure these folks have some social interaction. And an organization like that we work for here at SCAN, that's what we're all about, is trying to make sure there's opportunities for seniors. And it's nice to have organizations like the Salvation Army also doing those great efforts. It takes a village, right? So it takes a lot of folks to do these things. So keep up that great work.
Thank you.
So sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's okay. The only other program that it comes to mind right now too is we have what they call the Adult Rehabilitation Center program. There's not one here in Asbury Park, but we have one in Jersey City, Newark, Trenton, and Camden. And these are places where we can send people who are dealing with addiction problems, alcohol or drugs, to try to get cleaned up. It is a program within the Salvation Army that I think is really valuable because just as you have me here, there's a Salvation Army officer who's assigned to that program, over that program. Right. And so they're being dealt with both from the spiritual standpoint as well as the physical and psychological. They get a holistic treatment for their addiction. I know of a lot of Salvation Army officers who went through that program that are now Salvation Army officers.
Right, gotcha.
And so it is a program that seems to be very successful and just a program that thrives. I've never served in one of those programs, but as an onlooker, I can tell you that those programs are something that if somebody within our community is struggling with alcohol and addiction, that if we got them in one of those programs, I think it would be very beneficial to them.
Yeah, it's critical. There's as we all know, there's an epidemic now with all these issues, with these addictions, with opioids and the like. So it's very important that you have these programs. Now, we're going to take a short break, a commercial break, but we're going to come back and talk a lot about some other programs going on at the Salvation Army and a little bit about some other things in Asbury Park and all that. So please stay with us. We're going to break for a commercial break, and then we'll be back with the Major. Thank you.
The Save Green project provides New Jersey Natural Gas customers with rebates and financing options up to $19,000 for energy efficiency upgrades and whole house solutions to help you offset energy costs and save money. You can use these incentives to replace your HVAC system, water heating, and improve the comfort of your home with proper insulation. Plus, by participating in an eligible Save Green program, you can receive a free Ecobee 4 smart thermostat valued at $249. We've helped over 49,000 customers invest in energy efficiency upgrades to save money and improve the comfort and value of their homes. To find out how the Save Green team can help you, call 877-455-NJNG or visit savegreenproject.com.
Hello and welcome back to Community Connections here at SCAN. We appreciate your watching us this wonderful show today. And again, I have the wonderful Major Stanley Newton from the Asbury Park Salvation Army as our guest. So welcome back after that long break. I'm glad we're able to corral you and get you back here in time. But before the break, you were telling us all about the wonderful programs that the Asbury Park Salvation Army does, which is incredible. There's a myriad of programs that you offer and help so many people in so many ways, which is great. But now I'd like to ask a little bit more about things like who is the Salvation Army? Who really makes up the Salvation Army? I know yourself, you and Norma are, the folks at the front of the machine, so to speak, but you have other staff, and I know the volunteers and all that sort of thing. But give us just a quick overview of who those folks are. Well, you mentioned Lionel, I know, at one time, Lionel at one time and all that, but...
We, my wife and I are the what they call the core officers. We are the administrators and clergy or pastors at the Salvation Army. We're both ordained ministers.
Okay.
We have lieutenants with us that are associate corps officers. The majors mean that we've been on the field for over 15 years.
Okay.
The lieutenants mean they've been on the field between 1 and 5 years.
Okay.
So at this moment, there's 4 Salvation Army officers, active officers, on staff. We have an office manager, Diana Clark, who is the best office manager you could ever want. She is just full of, full of ideas and just knows how to run an office.
And she is a pleasure to work with too. She really is.
And she's got that place under control. People think the Salvation Army officers run the place, but the office manager is the key. I mentioned about Leonel, and then we have Donnie Van Koppen, who's been there for over 20 years, and he's the facility manager. He makes sure that building is maintained. It is one of the neatest, cleanest buildings I have ever been in.
He does a great job. Another wonderful, and these are all really good humans, really nice people. You know, they do their job, but they're just nice people to boot. Which is great.
So when you said I went to heaven, I did come to heaven. This is a great place to be. We have about 10 to 12 retired Salvation Army officers who live in the area.
Great.
The Asbury Hotel had one time been the Salvation Army retired officers' residence.
That's really interesting because I used to go in there when it was the retired officers and visit and do some little visits and knock on doors and say hello, that sort of thing. It was a big building.
Yeah, it was.
It was kind of almost a little scary sometimes because it was so big.
Yeah.
But it is that's an amazing thing that eventually it was sold and now it's the Asbury Hotel, which is a remarkable, very nice hotel in town. And
we have about 10 to 12 that live in what they call the retired officers' apartments, which is right across the way from the Asbury Hotel. They are very supportive and very helpful. We have about 5 more retiring to this area during the summer, so we're actually going to increase that.
Good.
We have
it's probably where everybody wants to come now because Asbury's starting to boom, and I often say I think that the Asbury Park Salvation Army is probably one of the longest-standing nonprofits in Asbury Park, other than some churches. But in terms of an organization that really gets out there and does so many things, you really are probably the longest standing nonprofit in town.
I don't have a specific year that they started in Asbury Park, but I would venture to say it was either probably in the late 1880s or early 1890s. For the most part, this region, that's where the time when the Salvation Armies in different towns started falls. So we probably have about close to 130, 135, 40 years.
That's great.
So there is a long tradition with the Salvation Army's presence in Asbury Park.
And as we see Asbury Park coming back, again, you weren't here years ago. Years ago it was not the greatest place to be. Let's put it that way. And so much has really turned, and so many positive things are happening. And I look at some of the folks on your board now, like Sylvia from the Asbury Park Chamber of Commerce, and all the great work they're doing. And she brings a lot of good energy to the board and good information. And you've got some of the folks like Hunt Perry, the attorney, who's been on the board a long time, always very positive, always trying to bring good programs. Roger Stein, your board president, who's an accountant, who's again been there for pretty much all the years I've been on the advisory board. He's been there.
Tom Hayes, don't forget.
Yeah, that kook. I don't know. You got to get rid of that guy someday. But really, you've got a good group. Harold Palkowitz, who's been with the gas company, retired from the gas company and still on the board, and always has really good information, good thoughts, and she's always volunteering. She's you've got a really good, you got a good team supporting.
Again,
you.
I've got a great board. We've got just overall, and everybody, the volunteers, our church members, which we call soldiers in the Salvation Army, are just terrific, and I am. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Penny McDaniel, the last meeting, even brought a check. I think she's from Investors Bank. She brought a check to the meeting, and that's great. Ron Tropoli. I mean, you've really got some really good folks on that.
I love it here. I was here in 1988. And in 1992, 88, I was in college in 92. I was a Salvation Army officer, and the Salvation Army would host something that they do about every 4 years called a Congress, and they held it at the Ocean Grove Auditorium.
Right.
And I had been in this town, and I was just in awe of everything I saw at that time, and I thought to myself, "This is great. I'll never be stationed here." But I was fortunate. Last May, I got a phone call from my higher-ups, and they said, "You've been appointed to Asbury Park, New Jersey." And I thought, "Oh, that was a mistake. When is the real call coming?" But it didn't come, and we got sent here, and I just am still in my, if you want to call it a honeymoon, I just love it here, and we hope to, like I said, be here for. We have a lot of years left. We hope to be here, maybe all of them if we can. So.
Right, that's great. That's great. And I just also want to mention Dr. Howard on your board, who with the Board of Education, which I think is great to have the school, somebody representing the school system right on your board as well. So that's great. And you and Norma again do a great job. So what is your vision for the Salvation Army in Asbury Park?
My vision is to be what more exclusive and not as inclusive for people from outside of that maybe have never been involved at the Salvation Army before, to have an opportunity to come in and be part of what we do. Volunteers, maybe doing some senior programs or an auxiliary where they can get more involved into what we do. Another one is to redefine our strategic plan of what we're doing in Asbury Park and what we need to be doing, to expand services and programs as we look at what needs to be done in the community that maybe is not being done at this time. We want to evaluate our existing programs to see, are they effective? Do they need enhanced and upgraded, or we need to change and go in a different direction with them? And then to collaborate with other agencies in the community to help provide needed services or identify those needed services in the community. I participate in a program called the Community Development Initiative, and I'm going to be going to something called the Asbury Park Alliance meeting, and I'm hoping that these will continue to help us identify what we can do to better serve the community that we're in Asbury Park. Right. Each community is different. I've been in a town where we had a men's shelter, in another place that we had a daycare, in another place we had a community center. So each Salvation Army also has the ability to be a little bit unique, and the flexibility to be doing programs and trying to fill in the gaps where maybe services or programs are not being provided. And so we hope to identify and be able to do that.
Right, which would be great. I think it's it's important, and so I know you, like you mentioned, you want to get more people involved with the organization. So just on that note, if somebody did want to reach out to you or get more information, do you have like a website or such that you can tell us about, that folks can reach out to you and learn more about the Salvation Army? They
can go onto our website. It's www.salvationarmy.org/Asbury Park.
Okay.
They can call our office, which is 732-775 8698.
Okay.
And I would even welcome them to email me at stanley.newton@use.salvationarmy.org.
Okay.
So they can try to contact us in any of those ways.
Right.
Or they can come down to the building to 605 Asbury Park or Asbury Avenue,
Right.
Asbury Park, New Jersey. We usually have a open door policy. If you come in, we show you around, we talk to you, we discuss, what's on your mind. That's always been our policy. It will always continue to be our policy.
That's great.
Well,
It's great because it's a nice facility, and it is nice when you come there and the doors are open. You can walk right in, and like we go to our advisory board
Yeah.
meetings, or if I'm bringing a visitor or whatever it might be. In fact, not too long ago, I brought a visitor from SCAN,
Yeah.
Andrea Tarr, who's wonderful, to see this facility, to see if there might be an opportunity to work together at your facility with SCAN, which is great because, as you see, SCAN is a great organization, and it's just nice to be able to be welcomed and be able to walk in and talk to folks, and it is a good feeling. It is a good feeling.
We have a follow-up meeting with her next week.
Great.
My wife is eager and excited about meeting with her. So.
Nice, yeah, that's great. They'll get along perfectly. They're good, both nice young ladies. So that's good, and again, that's an important feeling that the Salvation Army, puts out there, that people are welcome, that you want to help, you want to be part of the community, you want the community to know more about your programs, all those good things. And I know whenever we look to invite you to attend events, you're always right there, ready to go, and it's very eager to get out there and get to know everybody, which is really important. And I can't underscore that enough to say that you and Norma are really a great asset to the community. We're very, very really blessed and honored to have you guys coming into the community and doing so much so quickly, which is great. We love that.
Thank you.
It's important. So what do you think makes the Salvation Army unique and compared to like other nonprofits?
I think that, again, we do a more holistic approach to serving people. We're there. We make it known that we are ordained ministers. If you need spiritual counseling or just, we've had folks walk in who have been struggling with somebody that just died in their family or something like that, and so we're there if they want to just to be counseled on a spiritual basis, while also providing some physical programs that are needed, like the food pantry and the New Jersey Shares, and also providing some life enrichment, some things that are that are beneficial to you on a psychological or relational point. Whether it be the adult fellowship or some of the youth programs, or even the nursing home visits, which we call League of Mercy.
Gotcha.
And community cares is the other term that they use for that. It's just an opportunity. I think that if you want to feel good about yourself, you get involved in one of our programs, you'll feel good about yourself. So.
That's great. And that's a perfect place to end because we're out of time. But really want to say thank you for your time and appreciate all you do in the community. And to our viewers, we thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Community Connection show at SCAN. Thank you.
Thanks.